Good morning. I'm Pastor Peter Soli of Dialogue Works, and I hope this video finds you in good health. I know that congregations and leaders are facing unprecedented troubles during this time of social distancing and living under the threat of the coronavirus. Financial difficulties are quickly rising to the top of the many ministry challenges brought about by the virus. And I'm here to talk to you about that today. Thankfully, the United States government took steps to help relieve the financial strain. The recently enacted Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or the CARES Act, has provisions designed to help churches and other small businesses during the current crisis. With several forms of help are provided by CARES, I want to talk to you about one, the Paycheck Protection Program, or the PPP. This is the most substantial relief for congregations. The Payroll Protection Program is, in effect, a grant. It's a grant program designed to help keep the doors of small businesses open and to keep the payroll going, employees paid. Now, there has been much confusion about how the program works, who is eligible. Now, thankfully, this is beginning to sort out in the last couple of days, and it is very clear that churches can apply for help. This program is overseen through the Small Business Administration, or SBA, and financial help is delivered by means of an SBA loan from your local bank. Now, understand that not all banks will participate or are qualified to do so. You will need to check with your bank to see if it's what is called a preferred lender. And this is how it works. The church goes to the bank, applies for this SBA loan, and the amount of the loan can be as much as 2.5 times as the average monthly payroll from the year before. Payroll expense, utilities, health care, pension payments, and any interest on loan, all of that are qualifying expenses. Now, this loan requires no collateral, and the trustees, board members, they are exempt from any personal responsibility related to payback later on down the road. A banker told me that the normal lending requirements have basically been waived, and the approval rate is expected to be nearly 100%. Now, we all know a loan isn't going to be a whole lot of help. However, the PPP loan is different because it's set up to be forgiven, to be completely forgiven after 8 weeks. So after 8 weeks, the church submits documentation showing that the loan proceeds were spent on eligible expenses, and 100% of that will be forgiven by this program. And this will provide the much needed financial relief to congregations during this time. Should my congregation apply for a Payroll Protection Program loan through the SBA, a loan that becomes a grant? The short answer is absolutely yes. We need to take advantage of the help being offered. However, there might be cases where a congregation shouldn't apply. You don't want to apply if you're planning to close the congregation, or if you're planning to let go of your pastor. You don't want to apply if you're bothered by a lot of red tape and filling out forms and so on and so forth. And if you apply, you need to be prepared for some level of frustration with the process. This is the first time anything like this has been done by most of us. Now, I've done my best to prepare myself to help shepherd you, other congregations, through this process. I studied the printed materials provided by both the government and ELCA lawyers. This was very reminiscent of reading the Old Testament. I've been online with a national webinar on the process, consulted with a trusted attorney, with the vice president of our local U.S. bank, and with my bishop, and I feel prepared. I'm willing to talk with you by phone or by Zoom meeting to help provide information and clarify this unfamiliar process. So by this video, I'm inviting you to call, text me, set up a time. I'm not planning on charging for my time. This is something that I'd like to do for churches. And finally, most importantly, the time is to act now. The time to act is now. This window is very short, and the period of time for the funds are limited. I pray with you for the health of congregations and pastors and leaders, and I know that with God's help, we will make it through this together.